You would not believe what that broken door has led to. Oh, Jesus, that's horrific. Oh well everybody, I hope you're well and welcome to a new project where we are completely revamping this bathroom. Nothing as you see it is going back where it is now. The window is staying the same size, but even that's been changed. And of course, the first thing to do is to rip it all out, which means we don't want to ever flood the downstairs, but especially not at this house, because this one is quite special. And I'll tell you why at the end of the video. So let's crack on with it then. But first and foremost, I will tell you why all this is happening. And it's got everything to do with that shower door that you can see in the corner of your screen now. Right then, how's this for a demonstration of the domino effect? Said shower door completely broken, and the customer thought, well, instead of getting it fixed, why don't we get a new shower? Do we like the curved one? Let's have a square one. Well, the square one won't fit because the towel rail's in the way. So where are we going to move that to? Well, we can move it across, but the sink is there. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, this bath would be quite nice, freestanding, under the window. Well, where's the toilet going to go? Well, maybe that can go over here. Then there was a trip round to a neighbour's house where they've done the same sort of thing, except they have knocked through from the bedroom, which is behind this wall here, and created wardrobe space for that bedroom and added on a cupboard for the bathroom. And they've put the shower there. Well, all of a sudden, as if by magic, we are ripping out the entire thing and starting all over again. And there's a lot of things that are not going to go in our favour here. Simply because, well, I'll tell you that as we go along. So the first things first then, let's start taking things apart and get rid of this stomach churning sharp corner. Right, quick update. Strip out's going well. Nothing to report, all fairly boring. That scared the shit out of me. I must have just fell back, hit the radio, just put the toilet into flush, which scared the life out of me. Not for the first time today. Because if any time in the bathroom you're ripping something up and then you hear running water. Anyway, it was just a flushing toilet. Right, we shall continue. Hello. Top tip for you for getting these blinds down. Have a look at them. Obviously it's going to have at least 2 clips. This particular one has got 3. Get yourself up there, have a look. Any clips and whatnot, have a fiddle around with a flathead screwdriver. Do that for about 15-20 minutes. Then just try and unclip it or do something and try and get it off the wall. Again, another 10-15 minutes for that. Then just start swearing at it because it's obviously outthought you. And then you realise, horrible realisation, that you're not as clever as you thought you were. And then get it, unclip it, then pull it down and show it to his boss. That'll learn it. Right, fair play to whoever installed this bathroom because it has not come apart easily. Would you ever encase a bath now so you can't, I mean, what happens if the waste leaks or how'd you get to it? You know what I mean? You've got to take the entire thing off, and if it's been built as well as that has, then yeah, you've got to like destroy things. Anyway, if you were to do that today, you'd use like a tile backer board or something and tank it all, and you know, blah blah blah. That was just on a 9mm piece of MDF, and those tiles were not coming off easily at all. Next job then, take these tiles off, find where that water goes to the most appropriate place, and then turn the water off to the room, cap all the water off, and then I can start taking things to the skip, which is at my house, but I'll tell you why that is a little bit later on. If you're taking one of these electric showers apart and you're unsure, don't touch it, get an electrician. It should have its own designated isolation point in the room or just outside it. It has, that's been isolated. It should also have its own feed straight back to the board. It has, it's been isolated, and then I've Legoed it and taped it all up into its life. So we're good, we're safe. As I say, if you're unsure, don't touch it. Yeah, just thought I'll show you this little handy tool I picked up at Impulse Buy a few months ago now from Tool Station, I think. Milwaukee interchangeable ratchet screwdriver. Yeah, the only issue is that it's got it comes with 7 bits, but only 6 holders, so it's always that long, whereas really that's much easier to keep in your pocket or your tool belt or something. Of course, you could just take the 1 bit, the one that you don't think you're going to use very often, and put it somewhere. What I did, something different, I lent mine to a plumber. He then puts it into his impact driver to hang a radiator, thus smashing the bit, my confidence in him, and our working relationship. So that's him gone. Right then, I'll get this done, and then yeah, we'll get the stuff out of here. Well, here's a quick one for all you tilers out there. All these individual tiles, beautifully grouted, not a single crack. So good, it's keeping the whole thing together. Get that? Now, they've dotted, as you can see, the adhesive. Surely that's more difficult than trolling it on. But there you go. I mean, it wouldn't have got anywhere unless I put a chisel behind it. So, yeah. What do you make of that then? This might be an extremely telling insight into the way my brain works, but I can see a penis. Moving on then, water has been found, capped off as low as I can go, base. Cable's been found, that's taken up there, that's all sorted. Next thing to do now then is to get that doorway through to create the wardrobe space to come this way. Hot and cold has been capped off down there as well, so that is now completely independent. I'll do those two as and when. I like to keep them in for now because they're usable. Can't do anything else until the skip's here, so let's wait till that happens, get this room cleared, and then I'll tell you why all of this floor, not just the flooring, the floor itself, has got to come up. Yeah. Bitterly cold, sleet, threatening to snow later on. It's a good job I'm not in it, isn't it? Because I'm in here. Hey! Right, clean the room out, everything's on the back of my van. And I have began to take this doorway out. I'll show you next door in a second what I've already done. But my method of choice is stitch drilling, where you want a bit more control. You're in somebody's house, you can't use a petrol saw, you can't fill it full of dust or flood the place. Those are your two choices if you're using one of them. So a nice cleaner way of doing it is just to drill down. These are imperial bricks, they're at least 73mm, some are bigger as you can see. So you need at least 3, I'd say, through each brick, and then they can just be bolster chiselled now, either from the face or down as you're taking the wall out. So, as I say, it's a very nice cleaner way of doing it. Bit of choice, 7mm SDS. Any thinner, they'll just snap really easily, but they will snap anyway, because they get really hot. I mean, if you can imagine how many holes you have to drill with it, they get really hot and they do break. So 7mm I find is the best ones for it. I think I've got through about 4 doing this. And as you can see, I've done where the lintel is going to go as well, which is the first thing I'm going to do now. But as you can also see, it runs in to a little bit of a problem there, and I'll take you next door and I'll explain what exactly that is. If ever there was a 5-minute job that isn't a 5-minute job, it takes forever, it's a right pain in the arse. He's putting his carpet protector down. Anyway, we move on. Right, I've cracked on. I had a little bit of help yesterday, and we've got this side of the doorway out. And it was important to me that the doorways match, so it just looks right. Now, we've been round the house up the road, the neighbour's house, that was the inspiration for all this, and their door is lower than that one for reasons because in the other room that I just showed you, the slope of the roof cuts the corner off the doorway. Now I've done some calculations and I reckon that when I put my lintel in the other side of this, it won't be sticking out of the corner of the house here above the roof line. I reckon I'm going to be within it. So aesthetically, this looks better from this side. 2 doors are the same height, and hopefully I'm going to get lintel in the other side the same height as that. If not, it's going to have to go lower and create a bit of a bulkhead. When you open the door, lose a bit of space there, which it won't be a problem, but we'll give it a go and we shall see. So, right, there's nothing more to it now. And to put that plan into action, get them bricks out, and we'll have a look at that floor. Here is, look, the drunken octopus. Every job's got one. Right, that lintel is in. To save cutting it down, I've gone a little bit further this way just to give me enough room to get it in and swing it round. So it's in about 120 mil that way and whatever that is down there. Now, I'm not going to show you how to knock through and put all lintels in like this, because if you're unsure, don't do it. Now, I love this style and age of house. In fact, I've got one. They're solid, they're beautiful houses. It's only when you start knocking them around, they come apart very easily, and it makes you wonder what the hell's keeping it all together. So if you've never done it before, you can get yourself into a bit of a panic station, so to speak. So get the professionals in, or me, you know, you've got options. Yeah, so what I'll do then is get that out. I could prolong a time lapse out of it and some music and pack the video out. Nah. Done. Easy, isn't it? See what though, I'm beginning to think that this bathroom wasn't quite as well put together as I once thought it was. Just on packers. And yeah, and on some tiny blobs of silicone that you can clearly see that not everyone has even touched the floor. So anyway, all we've got to do is beat that and we'll be okay. So that's that through there. I now have to get rid of this, but I've got to wait till tomorrow now because my van is full, because the skip isn't here. It's here at my house on the drive. Now they're cheaper if you have them on the drive. You're allowed to keep them for longer on the drive. You have to pay a permit from the road. You're only allowed 7 days. Keep adding to it. Before you know it, the price goes up and up and up. So cheaper for the customer if I do it like this. So I'm ferrying everything back. Well, I've got to come here. Well, I've got to go there, and I, so it's no real skin off my nose. Just cheaper for the customer. But I reckon I've got enough room. Smash that up and get that on there, and then that'll be done for today. Right then, let me show you why all this floor has got to come up. Look how far out of level this floor is. You see that? Check that out. And that is just in that metre length. That's about 2.1 wide. That might be 50 mil out of level. Width wise. Now, strangely enough, length wise, we're not too bad. We're all right. So it's all going this way. Maybe it's built like it, I don't know. But we've got to get it all up. So we've got to level it. There's obviously a lot of extensive pipe work to do and run the wastes because things are going on the other side of the room. and to see how we can do it. So I've got to expose it all, yeah, get it level before I can do anything else. But below this floor, we have got a full ceiling. Now I know that because the bathroom is directly above our very first YouTube project, where we extended this Victorian property, remodelled the kitchen, downstairs toilet, and also installed this porcelain patio. So if you want to know absolutely every aspect of this job, side extension, glass roof, toilet under the stairs, kitchen fitting, porcelain patio, warm roof, the lot, it's all in a nice little playlist for you. A link is in the description and also in the corner of your screen now. But for now, stay here. We're going to go back into the bathroom, where I'm going to be basically just ripping this floor the best I can. Now, usually, you probably know this, but you've got your floor joist, and the top of that joist is your floor, and the bottom of that joist is the ceiling to the room below, and it's all connected. So if you start prising and really levering up the floor, moving the joist, you're going to damage the ceiling below. We've got that grace here, that isn't the case. So I've got to do it. I can't find the screws because this is that LVT stuff, it's all glued down. If I get it with a heat gun, the glue's still going to be in the screw heads anyway, so I've just got to go for it, cut it where I can. Make a bit of mess, make a bit of noise. So yeah, I'll crack on with that and we'll see what we've got below. Right then, we're getting somewhere. I'll show you this in a bit more detail in a second. But for now, let me just show you this beast pallet breaker. I think these are labelled as, and they are the tool of choice when it comes to lifting floors. Oh, it's just an absolute dream. Oh yeah. Can you get past that one? Yeah, beautiful. Excellent. Right, I'll get that up, get the rubbish onto the van, and then we'll see what we're playing with. Ooh, you wait to see this floor. Just had to go hell for leather in the end. Cut it with this bad boy and get the pallet breaker on it. This is a nice piece of kit. I'll go as far to putting it on the pedestal and saying it's one of the best tools that I own. That's one of the best tools I own. Right then, the floor. Check this out. The original timbers, they're about 5x3, big chunky things, but they are averaging about 38-40 mil out of level throughout, and look what they've just been hacked to pieces over the years. Get a chunk out of that one to get them pipes through, but nothing will beat this one here. That's been taken so much out there to get that shower waste in that, look at that, that they've bolted this piece of timber in to give it a bit more strength. And these three over here have been replaced completely. They're fairly new ones, those are, and whatever. But you can also see, look at a bit of a look into the past. It's that lintel there. That would have been the fireplace, I reckon, or a chimney. And that bit of concrete sticking out there, I reckon, is what's left of the hearth for it. But there we go. All these mixed mash of cables, and in fact the cabling isn't too bad, but half of these pipes can come out. And then yes, I've made my plan of how I'm going to level it all up, and I'll be telling you that plan in next week's episode, where I'll be going into detail of how to level this floor. Who knows, some of you might have an old cottage or something, you need to level the floor. Well, thinking about it, you don't need an old cottage, do you? You just need a 1910 terraced house like this, and who knows what you're going to uncover when you start taking things up. Anyway, all will be rectified by the end of next week's video, including, hopefully, taking some of these spots out, because it turns out you don't need 14 in a room this big. Bloody hell. No wonder they're not replacing the bulbs when they go, look, there's no point. It'll save you money. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like what you've seen, like, subscribe. If you haven't, keep it to yourself. As always, no one cares. Right, have a good week. See you next weekend.